Man suffers intestine necrosis after his fiancée electrocutes his belly for 3 hours as a premarital pain test. Do you think that's going a little far? Do you think maybe 3 hours of electrocution for like a premarital test is a bit much? You know, I don't mean, you know, shocking news. China's crazy. 3 hours, yeah. I guess she was really trying to simulate what like contractions would be like if you were in labor, because typically you're in labor for several hours, right? But I don't know why anyone thought this would be a good idea. She didn't marry that little bitch, right? Oh, you guys will be cheering for him when I get to the end of this, because this was pre-read. I couldn't help myself. I had to read it. A woman in China subjected her fiancé to an extreme test by making him endure simulated childbirth pain for 3 hours, leading to severe health complications. The man suffered from intestinal necrosis and had to undergo emergency surgery after the prolonged electric shock treatment. While it is common for individuals to test their partners before marriage, some take it to extreme levels. A case in point is a young woman from the Henan province, China, who allegedly put her fiancé through hours of stomach electrocution as a way of replicating labor pain. It's unclear why the man accepted the test. I guess he really wanted to marry this crazy woman. I wonder what the sex was like. Or if he had any idea what he was getting into. But he clearly didn't expect to develop intestine necrosis and have to get emergency surgery because of it. The horrific experience convinced him to not only break off the engagement, but also sue the woman he was going to marry for damages. And I feel like this is the correct path to take, right? Like, if you had to get emergency surgery because your intestines were dying inside of you, yeah, I feel like suing is the correct course of action. Can't beat the crazy pussy. He was like, the grippy is worth it until the surgeries. Never mind, he's not a total simp. Thank God, dude. The woman wrote on the Chinese social media platform Red Note that her mother and sister suggested that she make her fiancé experience the pain of childbirth before getting married to ensure that he would be more considerate of his wife. At first, the man opposed the idea vehemently, but she insisted, and he reluctantly agreed in the end. This is your friendly reminder that women fucking hate each other, and women want nothing more than to see those that are close to them fail in their personal lives. Never trust a woman with any information about your personal life, because she will try to sabotage it. They're a fuck-up family right there. The grueling test took place in a maternity care facility run by the woman's sister. I think the sister was trying to, like, kill the husband. You think she was like, oh, you know, making him experience pain was already a bonus, but now I can just straight up kill him. Wouldn't that be great? It's always the damn sisters, the evil stepsisters. Thanks, Chinese Cinderella. Using an electrical stimulation device designed specifically to stimulate the pain of childbirth. In her online confession, the woman wrote that she slowly increased the intensity of the electrical current for the first 90 minutes. And then cranked up the power to the maximum for another 90 minutes. Like, did they have him, like, strapped to the chair? Like, I don't understand, man. How do you go through that at max for 90 minutes? My boyfriend started to feel miserable from level 8 and couldn't help cursing by level 10, the woman wrote. At level 12, he was sweating and breathing rapidly due to severe pain. By the end of the experience, he was completely exhausted and his stomach was as hard as a board. He just decided to tough it out. Jesus Christ. That night, the man experienced severe abdominal pain and vomited several times. He appeared to feel better the next day, but then his condition worsened to the point that he needed medical attention. After being rushed to the hospital, the man was diagnosed with intestine necrosis and scheduled for emergency resection surgery. After learning about the torture he had been subjected to, the man's family was furious, I feel like rightfully so, right? And warned his fiancée that she was not welcome at the hospital, adding that the engagement was off and that she should get ready for a lawsuit. Although the woman took to Red Note to ask for advice on how to deal with the situation, she received so much criticism that she ended up taking down her post and closing her account. Women. By that time, screenshots of her confession were already doing the rounds online. According to Chinese legal experts, if the man or his family file a complaint, the guilty party faces up to 3 years in prison and paying compensation to the victim. I would not want to go to a Chinese prison, man. Like, this woman kind of fucked herself. This woman's sisters kind of fucked her. I wonder if the family's celebrating. They're like, yeah, we ruined that dumb bitch's life. Hell yeah. Put that bitch in the Uyghur camps. Should have gone to Am I the Asshole to get validation from everyone there. I haven't read too many Am I the Asshole posts, but they are always fucking fascinating whenever I have. I like just the things that people will type there. Women can't live with them, so they don't kill you. Can we talk about the Cheeto Zard that showed up at the bottom of the article? Is that the one that went for like $80,000? Yeah. Pokemon-shaped Cheeto Zard sold for $87,840 at auction. You know, somebody brought that up, I think last week. And that's been making the rounds. Air traffic control released the following plane crash in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. The plane with 5 people on board crashed into the parking lot of a retirement community. Multiple vehicles in the lot caught on fire. According to new audio, the pilot was heard telling ground agents that there was an open door, and he couldn't hear anything because of the wind noise. What? Pull up. The aircraft is down just behind the terminal in the parking lot tree area. The air traffic controller could be heard saying. Multiple injuries were reported at the scene, including people with burns.
Lancaster Tower, Bonanza 347 Mike has an open door. We need to return for a landing.
347 Mike, roger. You want to make it to 31 or 26?
Lancaster Tower, I cannot hear you with the wind, so we're going to return to 26. We're going to do downwind.
347 Mike, roger. Runway 26, clear to land.
26, clear to land. 347 Mike.
347 Mike, pull up.
Rescue 1, Lancaster Tower, the aircraft is down out just behind the terminal on the parking lot street area.
Lancaster Tower.
But why was the door open? Why was the door open? The FAA says 5 people were on board of the aircraft, which went down in Manheim Township, Pennsylvania. Plane is reportedly a Beechcraft Bonanza, unknown condition of the occupants. Could be a latch failure? It could be. Okay, that didn't really show us too much. And stuff. Elon Musk conversation with Trump. He responds by flashing his Doge t-shirt. A fake news smackdown. Talking to Washington Post. You've lost credibility. Interesting. As I made clear during my joint address to Congress, the U.S. strongly supports the people of Greenland's right to determine their own future. And we will continue to keep you safe as we have since World War II. We are ready to invest billions of dollars to create new jobs and make you rich. If you so choose, we welcome you to be a part of the greatest nation anywhere in the world, the U.S. of A. You're going to be really upset if the pilot simply forgot to close the door? Yeah! This is the Canada stuff. I don't really care about Canada. Wait. This is the fucking dancing lady. What is she talking about?
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated because
it's not a crime to enter the country illegally. Chat, I think we found out why the crime rate in black communities are so high. I think we just had that question answered today, actually. Thank you, Representative Jasmine Crockett.
because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations. And so that, it is not a criminal violation.
But it's also the murderers and the rapists who are coming into the country illegally. I don't... Like, I'm not a very smart person, but if you don't know who's coming into your country, that's a great way for criminals to get in there and do some fucking damage. Like, I hear that. My streamer's having a stroke. What a fucking retard. Who elects that kind of a thing, man? Boy 10 crushed to death when 340-pound foster mother sits on him because he was acting up. Like, my mom would do this to me when I was a kid, but, like, my mom wasn't 340 pounds. She was definitely too heavy to be sitting on a child, but she also didn't do it because I was misbehaving. She did it because she thought it was funny, because I would try to crawl out from underneath her. She did it to my brother, too. I don't know. It's just a prank, bro, I guess. A 10-year-old Michigan boy died after his obese foster mom sat on him for 5 minutes for acting up, crushing him under her 340-pound frame. Jennifer Wilson told police young Dakota Stevens had fled from her home that morning and that he was misbehaving after she retrieved him from a neighbor's house. I mean, he does look like he needs mental health help. He does look a tad psychotic. So I can see where she's coming from, but you don't sit on a child, you get them a mental health professional. Your mother doing it is a testament to how bad it is. Oh no, that's why I said that. Wilson said the 91-pound boy threw himself on the front lawn outside her home, at which point she sat on him while calling his caseworker as he screamed and eventually stopped moving, according to court documents. I feel like you should have just let him sit on the lawn while you called the caseworker, right? Like, I feel like that would have made the most sense, right? Oh, still fell. All 5 passengers were transported to Lancaster General Hospital, where trauma and emergency teams were at the ready to provide care. According to the hospital spokesperson, 2 of the patients, oh god, the scrolling, were later transported to Lehigh Valley Health Network's Burn Center by Penn Star flight crews. The spokesperson said, and 1 patient was transported there by ground ambulance. 2 patients remain hospitalized at Lancaster General as of Sunday night, they added. Okay, all right. That's good. It sounds like they all survived. I'm sure, you know, their injuries are fucking terrible. That makes me feel bad. But at least they lived. A silver lining. Silver lining, dude. Back to whatever the fuck this is. She told cops she thought the boy was faking being hurt until she noticed his eyelids had gone pale when she rolled him over. A court affidavit described the foster mom as appearing visibly distraught when police arrived at the scene to find Dakota motionless and without a pulse. He was airlifted to a nearby hospital, but there was nothing doctors could do. The child was taken off life support 2 days later, just a month after he had been placed in Wilson's custody. I think this is the only mugshot I've ever seen where, like, the person actually looks upset. Like, not that it makes me feel bad for her, but, like, I think this is the only time I've ever seen a mugshot where someone looks sad. Oh my god. Disturbing Ring camera footage unearthed by authorities reportedly shows a 20-second clip of Wilson sitting on his head and neck as she squeezed the life out of his tiny frame. His desperate screams gradually growing quiet. What a fucking monster, dude. Well, like, how do you do this? How is she an approved foster care thing? Like, I know foster care is a fucking terrible system, but this is, like, on another level, man. Once she realized what she had done, Wilson frantically told one of her other children to call 911. She has other fucking kids. She could be heard in the footage yelling the boy's name repeatedly as she noticed he had stopped breathing. Wilson faces 6 years in prison if convicted. She was fostering 3 other children in her Berrien County home, but a Department of Child Services spokesman confirmed to the outlet that her foster parent license is now suspended and being reviewed for permanent revocation. Well, good, because she shouldn't have access to any children. She shouldn't have access to any kids based on fucking this. This is just actually crazy. Also, only 6 years. Only 6 years is kind of short. What do they mean, if convicted? Because I'm wondering if she's going to be able to get a low sentence because she could claim that it was an accidental homicide somehow. How is she not rotting in jail? I don't know, man. The licensing, placement standards, and oversight of the foster care system is bureaucracy at its worst, and at-risk kids pay the price. True. True and real. There's a serious sentencing disparity among men and women in this country. Also true. Don't hear women asking for equality in this regard. It appears they want the benefits, but not the responsibility of equality. Take me back to the time where housewives ruled. We did not have to worry about women in the workforce. Why does she face 6 years while the George Floyd cop received 30? And the George Floyd cop was doing something that is a normal police protocol, and George Floyd died because of the fentanyl in his system, not because of the knee. Why does she have way less than that? That's a great fucking question. That's a great fucking question.